Sa ngayon, we are going to have an overview of your accounting cycle. So, sa accounting cycle ninyo, or sa accounting information system, you have your inputs, you have your processes, and then you have your outputs. In the information system, ang papasukan ng accounting cycle dun sa processes. So for your inputs, you have the collection of raw data acquired from internal and external sources. Halimbawa ng mga ito, yung mga source documents ninyo, it's in your module by the way. You have your invoice, yung mga resibo, yun yung mga source documents natin. So for your inputs, you have your basic terminology, you have business transactions and events, you have source documents na papasukan nga ng resibo, yung mga invoices, and then purchase orders. You have your debits and credits. Ito yung mga kakailanganin natin bago natin magawa yung cycle. We have to familiarize ourselves sa basic terminology ng accounting. That's why we have to go through the concepts. And then, yung accounting equation, you have your asset is equal to liability plus capital. The available financial reports and information. We have to familiarize also ourselves with the accounting policies and standards, methods and procedures, personnel, equipment, and devices, tapos yung ownership structure. It's very important for us to know kung ano yung structure ng business kasi iba-iba yung pag-account sa mga yon. By this time, we are focusing on sole proprietorship, servicing business. And then when you go to your higher accounting, you will be discussing accounting for partnership business, accounting for corporation. Because yung pag-account, sabi ko kanina, yung pag-account nung structure nung business is iba. Iba ang treatment natin sa sole proprietorship, iba yung treatment natin sa partnership, and then iba yung treatment natin sa corporation. And then second thing, you have your accounting cycle. So, dito na papasok yung processes natin. So, for your processes, it will include yung pag-sort natin or our identification, what are the accountable transactions, what are the transactions that affect your accounting elements, your asset, your liability, and then your capital. And then you organize, you summarize the data into the respective files and categories, and then you store them in the respective records. How are we going to do this? First, we identify and then we record. So yun yung ginagawa natin dati. And then, we journalize. When we say journalize, ito yung gagamitin natin yung journal entry. Gagawa tayo ng journal entries. And then, we post. This is also what we do with your ledger. And then, trial balance, adjusting entries, adjusted trial balance, preparing financial statements, closing entries, post-closing trial balance, and then we have your reversing entries. And then for the output, what are the expected output of all these things? Sa lahat ng gagawin natin, ano ba yung magiging output natin? So, sabi natin nung una, our very goal in accounting is to be able to produce a report that will help the decision makers in their decision making. Yun, so ang mga outputs natin will be the financial statements, which is composed primarily or basically of your statement of comprehensive income, statement of financial position on your balance sheet, and then you have your statement of changes in owner's equity, notes to financial statements, and then other disclosure requirements. So that is our accounting information system. We will have an input, and then processes, and then we have the output. Now, these are the steps in the accounting process. So, habang we are going through this, I hope na nagkakaroon ka ng picture kung ano ba yung gagawin natin, kung ano yung kabuuan gagawin natin. Unang-una, we have the transactions. We have said before that not all of your business transactions are accountable because there are transactions that are transpiring in the business operations na hindi nakaka-affect sa accounting elements natin. Ang ginagawa natin sa accounting, pinipili lang natin yung mga transactions that are affecting your accounting elements, your asset, your liability, and then your capital. So, we have the transactions, and then we have your documents or our source documents. After that, we sort them, we identify, and then yung mga accountable transactions natin, we are going to journalize them already. Ipapasok natin sila sa general journal natin. So, sabi natin sa module, there are two primary books that we are using in accounting. You have your journal and then you have your ledger. First and foremost, sa journal. Nasa module din ito. Sa journal books, you have your general journal and then you have your special journal. Kailan natin gagamitin ang special journal? Gagamitin natin ang special journal kung yung transactions or yung operations, yung affected na accounting elements is recurring. Parang nangyayari siya 100 times during the day. So, halimbawa sa grocery store. Sa grocery store, sabihin natin, pumapasok 1,000 na tao sa isang araw. Lahat ng 1,000 na yun, nagkaroon ng transaction. Bumili sila. Ibig sabihin ba noon, gagawa tayo ng entry na sales, cash and then sales. Every time na may papasok sa atin, no, ang ginagawa nila, gumagamit sila ng special journal para doon ipasok lahat yung transactions na nag-occur. However, sa general journal, yun yung focus natin ngayon, yung general journal. So, yun ang i-focus natin. And then, you have your general ledger. And then, worksheet or your unadjusted trial balance. And then, worksheet plus adjusting entries. Worksheet plus adjusted trial balance. However, sa step 7 natin, it's optional kasi hindi naman siya required ng standard. And then, you have your worksheet or income statement and statement of financial position. Tapos, we have your adjusting entries, closing entries, post-closing trial balance. Sorry, I forgot. Sa step 9, you have your income statement on owner's equity, financial statement, and then cash flow statement. So, sa kabuuan, ganito ang gagawin natin. Magkakaroon tayo ng transaction, i-journalize natin. After that, after the journal entries, we are going to post it to the ledger. We are going to prepare an adjusted trial balance. And then, we are going to prepare the financial statements, which is primarily composed of your income statement, owner's equity, statement of financial position, and then your cash flows. Tapos, adjusting entries, closing entries, and then you will be having your post-closing trial balance. Yun yung gagawin natin. So, magkakaroon pa ako ng another recording for that. Step by step, we are going to do it. But, before going through sa accounting cycle, bago tayo magkaroon ng application sa accounting cycle, I want us to first familiarize some of the principles and concepts. So, first is your double entry system. Sabi dyan, based on the dual aspect concept, that for every change in financial setup or transaction, there would always be a two-sided effect to the extent of the same amount in accounting books. It supports the formula asset is equal to liability plus capital. Okay, so ang sinasabi ng double entry system, kapag may nangyayari ng transaction na accountable or accountable transactions, laging may dual effect. Dalawa at dalawa yung effect niya. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng debit and then credit. Sa debit, Sabi niya dyan, the value received in business, yung natatanggap ng business, yung matatanggap ng business. Where is the place of of debit in the equation? Nakalagay yan sa left side. And then yung credit, ito yung value parted with. In order for you to receive, ito yung value na ibibigay natin. So, in every value received, there must be a corresponding value parted with. Where is the place of credit in the equation? That is on the right side. So, ang debit always left, ang credit always right. And then always remember this, in every transaction, in every accountable transaction that occurs in the business, yung effect niya will always be dual. Halimbawa, bumili yung business ng building. So what did the business receive? Ano yung na-receive ng business? Building. And then, on the other hand, what did you give away? Ano yung pinamigay natin? Cash. So, dual yung effect. Double yung effect. And then the double entry system is the basis of modern accounting theory. It is known as the most acceptable accounting system in recording accountable transactions in events due to the following. Number one, it results in a more accurate accounting records and financial reports. It allows a more convenient means of recording business transactions in events, and then it also provides numerous ways to safeguard and check intentional and unintentional errors committed by accountants. So, dati kasi, may single entry system and then may double entry system. Pero when in-encourage that we are going to utilize the double entry system. Another one is your chart of accounts. Okay, so this is an example of chart of accounts. So, para ma-facilitate natin yung pag-record ng mga accountable transactions, mas maganda kung may chart of accounts na tayo para uniform din yung accounts na gagamitin natin. So, yung chart of accounts natin, they are arranged according to asset, expenses, and then liabilities, owner's equity, and then revenue. Mind you, yung ginawa nila is yung normal balance. So, always remember, the normal balance of asset and expenses is debit. So, laging nasa left side. The normal balance of liabilities, owner's equity, and revenue is on the right side. Yon. So, ito ay example ng chart of accounts. So, you have an account number and then you have your account title. So, pag sinasabi natin account titles, ito yung mga ginagamit natin sa journal entries. Halimbawa, cash in bank, cash on hand, petty cash, accounts receivable, allowance for uncollectible accounts. Yun, so every time may nagre-recur na transactions affecting these elements or affecting these titles, accounting titles, ito yung mga ginagamit natin para uniform. So, the purpose of chart of accounts is para ma-facilitate yung pag-record natin ng mga transactions.